And welcome back to the War Next Door, and it is truly a war happening just feet from American soil. Mexico is headed towards becoming a narco state, and the effects on our cities are real.
Mexican police storm a house, freeing hostages and rounding up kidnappers working for the drug cartels. These hostages are the lucky ones. Many do not see freedom again. For years, Mexican drug cartels have been waging a ruthless war over the lucrative drug and human smuggling routes into the United States. More than 26,000 people have been killed, and the violence shows no signs of slowing. Last year, there were just under 10,000 cartel-related murders, and this year is shaping up to be worse. Mexican President Felipe Calderón sent thousands of troops and federal police to the border. Hundreds of them have been slaughtered, even more have quit. Gun battles rage nearly every day, and while the cartels began just murdering and kidnapping each other, they soon found profit in targeting civilians and legitimate businessmen.
Soy hombre de negocios mexicano.
I'm a Mexican businessman. I was kidnapped in Tijuana. They threatened me that if my family didn't pay them the money, they were going to cut off my ears or fingers.
Hector Bareilles saw the problem firsthand as a special agent with the DEA stationed in Mexico.
These people are unpredictable. They're very bloodthirsty. They will kill at the drop of a hat. They are very, very dangerous people.
And as the bodies pile up south of the border, the effect is being felt here on our streets. Just over the border in Pima County, Arizona, the Sheriff's Border Crime Unit wages a daily battle against smugglers.
We are primarily an interdiction unit, whether it be drug smuggling, human smuggling, weapons trafficking, and or illicit drug money trafficking. We also have another very, very important aspect, which is the aspect of terrorism. If the individuals are bringing up loads of humans and or loads of drugs, there's no telling what else is coming up from south of the border.
Increasingly outgunned, the U.S. Border Patrol in Arizona has begun to use some of the same armor as our troops in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Our biggest concern right now is the border violence piece, and with that comes the assault rifles and the grenades.
The violence is real and the stakes high, and now the politicians are finally starting to take notice.
If we do not secure our borders quickly, we are at great risk.
The criminal syndicates that we're fighting against are highly flexible paramilitary organizations.
From Pima County, these smuggling routes head north to Phoenix.
We know that drugs in Mexico are controlled by the cartels. If it's drugs in Phoenix of any quantity of significance, it came from Mexico.
And with drugs comes the violence, and in Phoenix, special police task forces deal with daily kidnappings and armed home invasions.
In 2008, we had 368 of these kidnappings. We had 337 home invasions.
The majority of the victims of kidnappings and home invasions are involved directly or indirectly with the drug or human smuggling business.
Yeah, they're running what direction? South, southwest.
There's two major types of victims. The first kind are those who are coming into the United States. The ground. They're being smuggled across by coyotes.
5 people in custody at this time. One of them we're going to consider to be a coyote.
They pay a coyote in Mexico $1,500 to come to America. Once they get here, they find themselves in a drop house, waiting for distribution to other parts in the U.S.
But teams of kidnappers then forcibly take over the smuggled immigrants and hold them for ransom.
When these people are kidnapped, to prevent escape, is they're stripped down to pretty much their underwear. Their shoes are removed, their pants are removed, their shirts, their coats, their hats, and this has become huge business. It's become extremely violent. Homicides are frequent, assaults, sexual assaults, beatings.
They are beaten and tortured while their loved ones listen on the telephone in horror as another $2,500 or more is being demanded from the kidnappers.
We take extra and every precaution, and probably 90% or greater of our cases we involve SWAT teams. We rescue a lot of these victims. We found them bound and gagged. We're finding semi-automatic handguns. We're finding knives, machetes, baseball bats with blood on them. So there's just a lot of atrocities that are happening in these houses purely for the profit of it all.
Well, we look at it in this perspective. If we don't stop it now, it's going to spread. But also, let's say that those people get involved in a shootout. Where do those bullets go?
They go everywhere. Now take a look at this brazen home invasion caught on surveillance camera just outside of Tucson. Now the suspects pounce, piling out of their car with automatic weapons. Amazingly, the homeowner has time to grab his own gun, and soon bullets are flying in all directions. The suspects bolt and they manage to get away, but not before the driver is shot twice. Police say his name is Jesus Mendival, and although he's wounded, he's still on the loose. Just miles away from that scene, Tucson police close in on another suspected kidnapper in a motel parking lot.
Suspect vehicle's taking off. Suspect vehicle's taking off.
And while most of the violence is directed at those involved with border crimes, not all of it is. In the quiet Phoenix suburb of Paradise Valley, Doug Clark was home with his family when the doorbell rang.
As I open the door, the first thing I see is the butt of a gun come through the door like this.
And he sees this gun, and he grabs it because it's just about chest height.
And I try to twist and pull and jerk the shotgun away from these guys, and they're pushing back in here, and I'm yelling and screaming, call 911, call the police, call 911.
At that time, my mom comes in. One of the guys goes over to her and knocks her down in our dining room.
911. And there's 3 guys broke into our house. They're armed with guns. Okay, where are they now? They're in our house somewhere. They're in your house? Yes.
I trip and fall, and they start kicking me and hit me on the head with the butt of the gun. I can feel, blood coming down my face.
That's when my brother and I came in, and my dad was standing up right about here. Just standing up. He had blood all down his face, all down his shirt. And one of the masked men had the shotgun pointed right at his head.
911, what's the emergency? Somebody broke in our house. They brought a gun. Hurry, please. Okay, stay in the line. Stay in the line. They have a gun? They have a gun?
Yes, they have a gun, my husband.
Okay, are they still inside the residence?
Please hurry.
Don't go away. Stay in the line.
Please hurry.
My dad somehow had wrestled the shotgun away from the guy that was hitting him with it, and they took off.
The other guy's down here trying to duct tape my wife, and when he sees how I've got the shotgun and his friend just went out the door, he's instantly gone.
And they found zip ties out by the mailbox, duct tape in here, zip ties in here.
Right now, we have not experienced the violence that they have in Mexico. People beheaded, piles of bodies, people hanging from bridges. We've not seen that at this point. Now, one of our concerns is the Mexican authorities told us 10 to 15 years ago, they looked at this and said, this is a criminal versus a criminal. We don't care. We don't take that approach. But they did, and then it continued until it became legitimate victims. We have drawn a line, and we said we will combat this.